If this is you, then you know exactly how heavy it feels right now. She used to light up when she saw your name on her phone, but lately, silence. Maybe she replies hours later, maybe not at all. You tell yourself she's busy, but deep down, you feel it. She's pulling away. And the more you sense her slipping, the more you overthink every move. Maybe this feels familiar. You stare at your phone, wondering if you should text again, but a voice inside says, "What if I'm bothering her? What if I push her further away?" You replay the last conversation in your head 100 times, trying to find the exact moment things shifted. 1 minute she was close, affectionate, laughing at your jokes, and now she feels like a stranger in the same room. And the worst part, it's not just her silence that hurts, it's the storm of thoughts inside you. Did I say something wrong? Is there another guy? Am I just not enough? You hate how powerless it makes you feel, because the truth is you don't just miss her attention, you miss the feeling of being wanted, being chosen, being seen. If this is you, you're not alone. Every man who's ever cared too much has been here, on the edge between hope and heartbreak, and right now, you're asking yourself the same haunting question. When the woman you care about distances herself and ignores you, do you chase her harder to pull her back, or is the real answer something far more unexpected? Most men panic when a woman starts to distance herself. They feel the shift, they sense the silence, and their first instinct is to chase harder, call more, text more, prove their worth. But that reaction comes from fear, not strength. And fear never draws someone closer. It only pushes them further away. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear. When she pulls back, it isn't always about her losing interest. It's often a test of your emotional stability. She wants to see if you crumble, if you beg, if you let her control the rhythm of your emotions. And this is where most men fail. They let her silence dictate their value. They forget who they are and hand all their power over in the hope of getting a reply. A core masculine principle is this: your presence is not negotiable. You don't beg for space in someone's life. You offer your energy, your time, your love, but you never chase someone into wanting it. The moment you chase, you confirm her suspicion that you're not grounded in yourself. Another principle: control what you can control. You can't force her to open up, you can't demand her attention, and you can't make her feel what she doesn't feel. But you can control how you respond. Do you collapse under the weight of her distance, or do you remain steady, calm, and unshaken? Most men get this wrong because they believe closeness is built by constant pursuit. The truth? Closeness is built when she sees that your world doesn't fall apart without her. That calm strength, that quiet certainty, is what pulls her curiosity back to you. You're sitting there, phone in hand, staring at the screen like it holds the answer to everything. The last message you sent still sits there, read but unanswered. Hours pass, maybe days, and every time the phone buzzes, your chest tightens, only to realize it's not her. The silence feels louder than any argument you've ever had. You remember the way things used to feel. Her laughter filling the room, her eyes lighting up when you walked in. You replay those memories, trying to figure out how you went from that warmth to this cold distance. Was it something I said? Did I miss the moment she started slipping away? The questions echo, but there's no voice on the other side to answer them. Late at night, the quiet eats at you. You lie there, staring at the ceiling, fighting the urge to reach for the phone again. Maybe if I just say the right thing, she'll come back, you whisper to yourself. But deep down, another voice argues back. If you have to beg for her attention, is it even real anymore? It's not the lack of words that hurts the most. It's the shift, that slow, subtle unraveling of someone who once felt so close, now feeling like a stranger in your own life. And the more you try to hold on, the more it feels like sand slipping through your fingers. In that silence, in that ache, you're left with a choice that every man eventually faces. Do you chase her into the distance, Or do you find the strength to stand still, steady, and unshaken, even as she walks away? One of the biggest lies men believe is that when a woman distances herself, the solution is to close the gap with more effort. You think if you just text more, call more, prove how much you care, she'll finally see your worth. But the truth is, the harder you chase, the faster she runs. Neediness never creates closeness. It only highlights the void inside you. Another false belief is that her silence is a reflection of your value, that if she pulls away, it must mean you're not attractive enough, not good enough, not man enough. But that's not reality. That's fear talking. A woman's distance often says more about where she's at than who you are. And even if it is about you, the answer isn't to shrink or beg. It's to grow stronger, more grounded, more centered in yourself. And here's the third lie, that winning her back is about fixing her feelings. It's not. It's about reclaiming your own. The moment you stop trying to control her reactions and start owning your response, you shift from powerless to powerful. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. Her silence isn't a wall. It's a mirror showing you where you stand. The more you chase her love, the more you lose your own. The wake-up call is this: women aren't drawn to men who crumble under distance. They're drawn to men who remain unshaken by it. And once you stop believing the lies and start living that truth, the silence no longer controls you. You control how the story unfolds. The man in the top 1% doesn't panic when she pulls away. He doesn't spiral into doubt or try to force her attention back. This is what he understands. Her distance is not a signal to lose himself. It's an invitation to deepen his own center. While most men chase, he stays grounded. While others beg for validation, he reminds himself that his value doesn't shrink just because someone can't see it in the moment. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He doesn't push, he doesn't plead, he doesn't perform. He stands steady like a man who knows his worth is measured by who he is, not by how quickly she responds to a text. That calmness speaks louder than any words he could send. He sees distance differently. To him, it's not rejection, it's information. It's a chance to observe, to breathe, to remember that he is the source of his own peace. He doesn't fear silence because he knows he can sit with it, and in that stillness he becomes even stronger. The shift is simple but powerful. Instead of asking, "How do I make her come back?" he asks, "How do I stay unshaken, no matter what she does?" And that question alone separates him from the 99% of men who lose themselves the moment she steps back. The 1% headman doesn't need to chase love. He attracts it by the way he carries himself. And that's why when a woman distances herself, he doesn't collapse. He becomes even more magnetic. You're sitting there waiting again, waiting for a reply, waiting for a sign, waiting for her to notice you the way she once did. And in that waiting, you suddenly feel the weight of what you've been doing. It's not just her silence that hurts. It's the silence you've created inside yourself. You stopped listening to your own voice, your own strength, your own life because you were too focused on hers. And then it hits you. The ache in your chest isn't really about her not texting back. It's about you abandoning yourself the moment she pulled away. You see it clearly. Every time you begged for her attention, you told yourself you weren't enough without it. Every time you chased, you stepped further away from the man you promised yourself you'd become. In that moment, something shifts. You realize that love was never meant to shrink you. Affection was never meant to be earned by sacrificing your dignity. Her distance is not the end of you. It's the mirror forcing you to remember who you are. And for the first time, you breathe differently. Not the shallow breath of anxiety, but the deep inhale of a man reclaiming his ground. You stop staring at the phone and start seeing the bigger truth. You don't need to chase anyone to prove your worth. This isn't about whether she comes back or not. This is about you coming back to yourself. And that's the moment you realize the power was never in her silence. It was in how you choose to stand in it. When a woman distances herself and ignores you, the instinct is to chase, but that only proves you've lost yourself in the process. The real power isn't in fighting for her attention, it's in standing rooted in who you are. When you stop waiting for her to validate you, you discover something deeper, that your worth was never hers to give or take. Silence doesn't break a man who knows himself. It only sharpens him. And if she returns, she'll find you stronger. If she doesn't, you'll already be whole. Because the truth is this: a man who can stand unshaken in the face of distance is the man who can never truly be left behind.